Welcome to Cooperville, the Welcome to Cooperville podcast. Subscribe, get updates, feel better about your life. Welcome to Cooperville.com. Check. Welcome to Cooperville. Make sure you use a coaster.
It is the Welcome to Cooperville podcast and Twitch from Quarantine sessions. Thank you all for jumping back on board. The Preachin Rican. We're going to get into it today. It's going to be fantastic.
All day.
We're going to get into it. First things first, though, special thanks out to Midwest Meals, midwestmeals.com. Please remember that promo code Cooper at checkout. Get 10% off your first order. They do ship nationwide, and we're talking about healthy meals ready to go. Pop them in the microwave, and 13 rotating meals they have right now. So you go onto the website, you pick out your meals. You get your order in by Friday, and then on Monday, they ship them out nationwide. So no matter where you are, you get your macros counted, you know what's going into your body, and easy cleanup, which is my favorite part of it. MidwestMeals.com. Promo code, again, is Cooper at checkout for 10% off. Also, Violent Gentleman Hockey Club representing today. Sorry, reverse camera. ViolentGentleman.com. Hockey season, maybe they'll be the only sport that finishes. We'll see how... We'll see how the rest of the world plays out here. But violentgentleman.com, we have 15% off your order there. They also have the enforced social distancing line out. The ladies' gear is awesome. Check it out, violentgentleman.com, promo code Cooperville15. And, of course, my friends at Monster Energy, always providing the go-go juice to get me through early morning workouts, afternoon podcasts, and a 10-year-old. It really is it's what keeps my pulsating. Yeah, it keeps me rolling. And what I want you to check out is the new thermogenic line from Rain Body Fuel, proud Monster product, and the jalapeno strawberry is the bomb. Thermogenic, so you get that fat burning addition to energy and your BCAAs and all other sorts of good stuff. Hashtag Monster Podcasts. Carlos, Javier,
yes,
my friend, is on the stream. How you doing, sir?
Doing all right. How about yourself, Coop?
You know, I was reminiscing back on our previous conversation, which happened back in November. It was episode number 41 of the podcast. And, you know, we went on. I mean, it was awesome to get a chance to hear your story. I think we closed in almost or just over 2 hours of conversation. Wow. And, you know, you look back at that time, and this is, 9 months ago, and just how different of a world that we live in. Oof. I mean, it's 2020, you always get that, New Year's happens and it's all, new year, new you. I mean, I think maybe you and I operate a little differently because we don't, specifically target.
Subscribe to that crap.
This is when I'm going to get my life together in the middle of January in Wisconsin. No. But, a lot of people, that's how you ring in the new year and you let go of the previous year. And then 2020 came in and it started with Kobe and then the world went to shit.
Oh my God. Don't remind me.
It's been tough, man.
Remind me. Sorry, I'm just trying to, here's the deal, Scoop. I'm bringing back the 90s. I'm not sure if you figured that out yet.
I love the color, man. Bringing color back into the fold.
Hold on. I'm not done yet.
Oh, look at this guy.
Look at that. My life got turned upside down.
Yeah, you're Will Smithing it up in here. I love it.
Listen, I'm going to tell you how I became the Prince of Eau Claire.
Ooh, like it.
Like it.
But, we've touched base here and there. I know we both, not just on a work level or a kind of life trajectory level, things have altered for us, but on many different levels. It's been a wild year, but you still are kind of still got the world by the short and curlies and getting after it and building new things and starting new businesses. And, in a time where a lot of people are kind of tucking their tail and hiding from, the scary viruses and scary people and, with cans and cannot do's and who's running what and masks and all the other stuff that's going on. But you seem to have it, you're on a roll, man, doing stuff.
Well, I'll tell you this, Coop. If you remember the last podcast, my whole life has been all about restructuring. My whole life has been all about transformation, rebuilding, reinventing yourself. And, if you're not out there learning or trying to know more about whatever it is that you find interesting, then you're never going to become or get that much closer to finding out what it is that makes you tick, that gives you all the warm and fuzzies inside. Like, man, I finally found something that I feel good about, So, like history has always shown us that it repeats itself over and over again. So there's plenty of information, plenty of stuff that we can go back and look at and say, how did a guy during the Depression in the United States make the most money? How do collection agencies end up making more money during recessions? How do people do things, right? So COVID is how is swearing in your podcast? Are you guys kosher?
It's fucking it's my fucking
fucks?
What the fucks, man? All fucks all day.
COVID fucked shit up. Let's just say that. COVID, threw a screw, a wrench, a sink, and every fucking thing it could into families and to businesses and to everything. So as you know, before, my main goal in life, my mission was public speaker, author, social media influencer, build a brand, create, media content, social media content, to give value to the public, give value to people. It's a sad world out there before COVID and after COVID. It's a sad world. Teenagers, young adults turn stress into anxiety issues. They turn sadness into depression issues. Sadness and stress are like this fine line away from becoming depression, anxiety. It's just this close. So when you teeter to that edge, to that cliff, you can jump, be my guest, and jump all you want.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen. You're done, right? You jump, you're going to hit rocks, whatever the hell it is, but you're done. God willing, God hopefully, you knock yourself unconscious before you hit the ground. That's the best situation.
Right.
But what's the alternative? Go back to the shit you left? Go back to that, and because both, it's a rock and a hard place, right? It sucks because you're going to die going that way, and you're pretty much losing your soul the other way. So what the fuck do you do? What do you do? Very, very fucking simple. You have to think about what it is that I can do at this moment in time to try to prevent myself from fucking losing it. Now, I'm not saying drinking, smoking, doing drugs, partying, having sex, getting into freaking Netflix binges, living in this world of not reality and soaking yourself in video games, whatever. You can do it, but don't expect to feel better at the end. Be my guest. It has its expiration date. But if you really want to get down to the come down, take it from someone like you, take it from someone like me. You're gonna have to put the pink boy pants on and start doing the things that you should be doing, but you're not doing. You start shoveling the shit that you don't want to shovel because you're too good for it, or whatever the hell your ego tells you, or whatever the depression or sadness is, and then start getting to the real crux of what you have to do. Because that step forward, it sucks at the moment in time, but you get no reward from playing video games and living another fantasy. You will get a reward from putting in the work after you do this. And COVID showed me that. And when it comes down to the come down, and I think a lot of people realize this, we're fucked. The government can only do so much. Your neighbors can only do so much, but they're protecting themselves. They're taking care of themselves and their family. Your family can only do so much because they're looking out for themselves.
Right.
It's you, whoever you're living with, which should be your loved one, or if not yourself, or whatever kids that you have. But that is it. You're not getting food. Listen, remember that we could only buy a gallon of milk, bro. 2 cartons of eggs, and that's if you're lucky. Bread, if you were lucky. Toilet paper, if you were lucky. All these things that we took for granted, gone overnight. And who's going to take care of you? Who? So are you going to sit in that depression? Are you going to jump over the cliff? If you're going to jump over the cliff, with all due respect, I've thought of it. I've been there plenty of times. I've hit rock bottom, as 101 times. But at the end of the day, it's an easy way out, and we all know the outcome of that. I'd rather put my chips in on, going all out and seeing what happens. Shit, if I end up dead, then I end up dead. But at least I threw all my chips in, and I did whatever I could to get to where I wanted to go. And, after COVID, shit hit the fan. I hit rock bottom really, really quick. Or short snaps at the time. Never thought I'd do it at 36, but it happened. And this is what I invented. I said, you know what? Screw it. I have the tools. I create my own content. I know the market of videography out there is it's overrated. Not a lot of creativity, overpriced, like you could read about. And I'm not going to shoot for charter TV. I'm shooting for social media. I'm shooting for people's engagement, traffic. You know what I'm talking about. That's what I did. I created a media company.
Yeah, there's and we'll get into a lot about what's out there and in social media world and kind of the new world order that I think even before COVID, was pretty prevalent with social media and how that even probably more so now because people are so entranced in their devices. And again, that's a teeter-totter in itself because you can get into this sense of escaping reality, when you're on a platform and you fall down the rabbit hole and the types of things that you're putting into your brain just by consuming that kind of content. And we can diverse on that, a little bit, but I do think that when you have stressful situations and you add this real sense of waking up every day and not really having a clue what you can and can't do and where you can and can't go and what is and isn't available, the structure of kind of how humanity has really, been very prosperous overall for the past 40 years is the structure. The kids go to school, mom and dad work, or single parent, even that. You're separated, and that's what makes things kind of work. Is you're not together 24/7. The kids are out learning, getting that super important, social interaction. How they deal with other human beings. When they're put in a situation at school. Parents, adults, kind of structured to, I don't necessarily say go to a job because I'm not a huge, 9-to-5er advocate. I think there's more to life than that. But I mean, in the structure of the world, using that as a baseline, the parents were gone. Even if you had a stay-at-home mom or you whatever your situation was, there was always this separation of family, and that's what made, I think, things like weekends and dinner time, those were the moments where you got to, reconnect with your family after being gone for, say, 8 hours, 9 hours out of the day. And this was this weekend. Hey, we're going to do something fun. There's a birthday party or there's a cookout or, so everything is loose. It's firmly structured. But when you take all of that away and people are home and the kids are home and now you have to, if you're out of work, you have to figure out, how to make ends meet. You also have to become a teacher, somehow. I think I put that on my resume too. I'm like, hey, by the way, I put in a solid 2 months as a homeschool teacher. I want you to know that's I'm bullet pointing that on the resume. And just the way the, economy has been kind of topsy-turvy. And then you add on everything else that's going on with protesting and riots and murder hornets, just crazy shit.
I mean, shit, at this point, I'm waiting for the meteor to come and just call in the ice agents.
No kidding, right? We're going back in time. We're going back.
I feel like, I feel like Robin Williams, Nanu. I'm just going to start talking to UFOs at this point to get me the hell out of here.
There's another thing. Like the Pentagon basically came out and said, yes, there are crafts not of this world.
We cannot explain.
And everybody's like, so do I have to wear a mask? Like what? Like dude, we just dropped aliens on you and they're like, man, whatever. That's nothing compared to COVID.
Here's the uncut, uncensored reality that your listeners are, listen, I'm sorry to tell you. You either want to accept it, you either want to admit it, or that it's already a fact. But I coach people, slowly getting away from that. But there are people out there, couples, that are discovering things about themselves or each other that they had no idea. For years, bro. They've been together for years, had no idea about each other. during this COVID thing.
Yeah.
Talking about singing in the shower or whatever, or random farts. I mean, who the hell knows? But these things that people are like, God, I never knew that. And it's just something as small as maybe I don't know, chewing your breakfast or something, and the noise. It's just the having to put two people that love each other but don't have that separation from each other together on a daily basis, day in and day out. Then throw in children into that. People who have purposely set up their lives to have the break from children. And not only that, to let someone else take care of them, let someone else raise them, let someone else teach them. So when they come home, all I got to do is X, Y, Z, go up to your room and be gone, my friends. So not having to deal with that. Parents who were unconsciously parenting. They weren't parenting. They were just like zombies, right? Drones, just do this, do that. Kids going nuts in the mall, whatever. Just gonna get home. That. And then you throw in the mix people who found purpose, meaning in their job. Like work gives human beings purpose. If you're in North Korea, you will be put to work. If you were a Jewish slave back in the Egyptian day of the pharaohs, you were put to work. If you were in a concentration camp, you were put to work. All I'm saying is every human being has been working since the beginning of time. It gives us purpose. But some people, without work, they don't know what else is left to life. Because as far as they were raised, or as far as they've grown up, if I do X and I do Y and I do Z, I will get this. It's just follow the system, follow the plan, and you'll get what you want. That's how it works. But when you throw a wrench in that shit, and you expect people to, fuck it, what do I do? This is what I'm built for. My life has been a fucking wrench every boomerang way you can find it. Right. So it's like, shit, I'm comfortable in chaos. I'm totally cool in chaos. But it just, looking from the outside in, it opened my eyes to how many people, how fragile people's state is when there's a little hiccup in their routine, a little hiccup in their in the house of cards or whatever you want to call it, but in the castle that they built, I've seen people devastated. I mean, I've seen people just the happiest people in the world crushed. So, COVID has brought out a lot of things in us that money and all this busyness and that we've tried to just, smother, right? Oppress, smother. Don't ignore it. Just keep on by. Let's do the things on weekends. Let's ignore the fights. Let's ignore. Okay, cool. Now we can't ignore. Now we're forced to deal with this. And then on top of that, the risk and danger of society, the information that we're getting every single day, that's this or that and the other, it's so conflicting. It just makes you realize that the people who are running us, the people who are smarter than us, the leaders that we have, don't know shit. Right. Don't know what the fuck to do. And at the end of the day, they're just going, they're doing it day by day as we are. And here we are looking up to them for answers. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's, almost, the domino effect, when you have that one thing, say, first it starts with the kids being home, then maybe it's a loss of a job, then maybe it's, a financial struggle. Because I'm sure there's plenty of people who are, I don't want to say prepared for a situation like this, but this wasn't going to be the stress factor wasn't going to be monetary. It was like, hey, well, we have to maybe move some things around, but we'll get through. And, but for a lot of people that was a struggle. But there's also a certain, my cousin who was a former Marine, and was been a truck driver since. He was a truck driver in the Marine during the war. He was and drove truck, but so he was always working. I think he said he was probably a teenager the last time he didn't have a job. And so he went and they got furloughed, and he was like, and they eventually got unemployment after a long wait, but he's like, this is driving me nuts. He's like, we talked about purpose, with working. Yeah. It's purpose. It's the financials of it. It's insurance. It's all the things that having that job, you don't have to really worry about. But then there's also a mental health issue with it where do feel like you don't have a purpose. You do feel like you need to, like, I need to get up and do something. I need to, they built a deck and they put a bunch of, they did a bunch of stuff in their yard and then they're helping other people with projects. I mean, he's like, I need to do stuff. Yeah.
That's how it's done. I mean, I told people, I said, listen, if you found value in work and your day consisted of waking up, doing what you did, going to work, busting your ass for however many hours, making a buttload of money, coming home, eating dinner, saying goodnight to the kids, passing out, whatever, doing all over again for however many years, fine, fantastic. You created your empire like that. But, now the king has come and said, sorry, all the work that you've done, bye-bye, it's all mine. Or, you know what, shut it down, it's over. And, right. It's if that's all you put value in and meaning, it's time to reinvent yourself. It's time to just the routine, you have a family that has a father or a mother or just a guardian, right? That they obviously, learn from, look up to, and live with every day. So they live in this process of a routine, predictability, and that stops. The kids are also affected. The kids are wondering, like, what's going on? Like, why? And then as, they're processing what's happening, you're trying not to be obvious and go along and, kind of put up a good front. But the deterioration of the mind is obvious. You can tell by the lack of sleep, the bags under your eyes. You can tell by the irritability. You can tell a million ways, and kids pick up on that. So what do? You have to recreate what you find value in. Mm-hmm. If work was what made you gave you purpose, well, now it's time to show the kids that work and money is not the only way to produce value.
Right.
If you can believe it or not, trying, like, for example, what I did, I helped people for free. I made videos. I went on social media. I edited it. I spent all my time in doing this for free, obviously to give people value. I've had numerous people send me messages, dude, because of your message, because of this, because of that, because of what, I'm seeing things different, or thank you, I needed this, I needed that today. Whatever it was, God, I had a woman, a friend of mine, her teenage son whose father passed away at a young age, is a great kid, don't get me wrong, a very great kid. I'm an example of a kid, but he didn't have a father figure, right? Mm-hmm. So I had no idea that my videos he was watching and he was taking them to heart. He said, wow, I look up to this guy, and this guy's dropping some information that I've never heard before. Right. And it's very useful. So I got a message from her saying, you have no idea how much my son values your videos. You have no idea what you've done to affect his life. I mean, it's almost like a father figure, just trying to kick it to my son, wisdom and knowledge. I mean, hello, I'm at this point, I'm ready to cry at that point. But, it's the value that you think is valuable because you can show it in tangible material ways is baseless. I forgot what his name was. He's a very famous, or is a thought leader. He says, everything that you want in life that'll make you happy, that'll give you purpose and meaning is free. Free. Love, free. Children, free. Traveling, free. I mean, whatever you want, it's free. You don't need money for it. The question is, what do you put your value in? What do you apply your purpose in life to? So I tell people, I say, listen, direct that passion that you had for whatever it was, that your job or whatever it was that gave you value, redirect it to something else, like that guy. Build a porch. Hey, kids, come here. Let's just plant a tree, build a house. Show them that much intensity that you would do, and wake up every day like you would. Go and do. Don't stop the routine, but just do it differently. Yeah. And then you teach the kids the value of things that money will never, ever be able to buy. So,
yeah. And I, having watched your videos and stuff, and I've been posting, workout stuff really for myself. I read the David Goggins book, Can't Hurt Me. And it was a lot of it about, accountability. And so, for me, it started off very self-serving. Like, I don't take rest days. Like I'll run or I'll flip tires. I'll do shit every single day. And it's not, it's just, if I don't, because I think there's been a day, maybe two during all this that I didn't. And I was like, well, that's just not how I roll. So, but I've had people, and I'm not putting it out there as content to be like, hey, come, this is how it's done, or rest days are for pussies, or outwork everyone, or, which is some of my hashtag stuff that I use. For me, it's self accountability. Like, hey, you did it. But I've had people reach out and say, damn, dude, like watching you just, get up before the sun comes up and go running, or, I'll run over the bridge in Chippewa and take a picture of the sunrise and just be like that again.
Yeah. I saw that.
That's free. That was a free painting, in the sky.
That was a free dopamine hit. That was free oxytocin, free serotonin.
I didn't even have to wait to get a bunch of likes on Facebook for it. It happened
I know, right?
momentarily. But there is something to be said about keeping a routine. I think especially when you do have kids in the house and there's a certain level of them obviously looking up to you as a leader, as a parent, as setting the example for how things are done. I think if you did, there was a bunch of memes going around early on during COVID, it was all like, finally the government's telling you to stay home and watch Netflix and blah, blah, blah. And I know handfuls of people that's what they did. They had the time and they just chilled. But if you do have youngsters in the house, it doesn't even mean up to 18, I guess, before you kick their ass out. But if you have somebody who is still learning life and you're trying to teach them the basics during a normal year or during a normal time of life, and they kind of get in, they see, okay, my dad gets up and he works out every day, and obviously we eat fairly healthy, and we still get to do fun stuff. But how you react during times of crisis, times of uncharted times where they're pulling kids, they're closing schools down. There's places for a while he couldn't go inside because, he was too young, and there's places that we didn't have masks. So we had to either buy them or not go in. So all these things that are so, even for us as adults, are a little bit like, well, that's kind of fucked up.
Unprecedented.
But for them, they're still like, wait a minute, we used to just be able to go and do, and now we can't. So I think having that routine, setting that example, still getting after it in whatever capacity. I found spending more time with my son doing things that he'd never experienced. He'd never been in a tent camping before. We've gone 3 times already. If it was a nice day out and I'd gotten my business and stuff done, I'm like, let's just go to the beach and go see and go. I'll go running and he'll ride his bike. I think just trying to make the most out of, as far as that family relationship goes, trying to make the most out of this time, because and I want to get into, post-COVID and how we, move on or continue to grow from what we've learned here. But I think, when you do have the time to use it using it wisely sounds a little too traditional. Using it to the maximum of its capabilities. If you have a chance to go and do things, all the shit that I just talked about probably costs, going camping 3 times, going to the beach, maybe I'm $100 out for probably 2 weeks of experiences.
Yep.
And that's pretty much fruit snacks and beer,
And by the way, you, how do I say it? You went a notch above. You don't even have to do that. God, you got Chippewa River. I don't know what it is over there by Phoenix Park. You got that. You can just walk downtown with your kids. Kids still, dude. I live on Badger Avenue. Down Badger Avenue, there's a cemetery. I don't know what it's called, but there's a cemetery, right? Cemetery down Badger Ave, and then behind the cemetery, there's like this little woods, trail up, whatever, and then you end up in like all the big sand pits where they just dump all their crap at. Me and my son go there every now and then to go on an adventure, to go treasure hunting. Yeah. Now, treasure hunting is me distracting him in one end while I put quarters in the sand pit on the other end. And then I show him areas like, I think here's so he digs. And I tell you, the kid lights up like a Christmas tree. Right. Oh my God, I found treasure. But maybe an hour, 2 hours. I have no idea how long it lasts. I got the dog with me here. And it was free, by the way. It cost me like maybe $3 and some change. And he literally found treasure for him.
Right.
For him, he actually found treasure, and he is a pirate or whatever he is, an adventurer, and he went out with dad, and it was like, crikey, we have the rare animal here. So it definitely, he never forgot. 5 years old. Stupid things like that. Kids don't need all this stuff. I'm realizing that. Or I'm more of I like to my concept is the more money you make, money doesn't buy happiness, of course, but money does buy things that make your life easier to live, or money can make your life easier to live, which should relieve stress, because if your life is easier to live, you should not be as stressed. And if you don't have stress, naturally, you should be happier. That's the goal of it, right? So what the hell's the sense of making money if you're not happy? Because you obviously have more than the person who's poor, but you're still bitching. So I look at it this way. If I could buy something for me, my wife, my son, whatever, and it makes our lives easier, his life easier, my life easier by not needing to do X, Y, Z, and he's cool with it, I'm cool with it, shit. A few bucks, less stress is the goal here. Less stress. So during COVID, stress is at people were, they were done. People were just losing it left and right.
Yep. The
money aspect, the lack of social, social interaction, the lack of, some people wouldn't even go out. You're talking about lack of vitamin D, lack of sun. So many things we lacked, and yet we're consuming TV, we're eating crap, we're staying stuck in an enclosed environment, and then we're having to react to the day as opposed to keep on a routine. Mental health, God, the suicide hotline, I think, went from 20,000 calls a month to 40,000. Yep. It doubled. Things got so bad, and are still bad, that you sometimes have to ask yourself, is getting COVID worse than losing your mind? Or which one is worse? I'm not sure. I can tell you which one is going to have a long-term effect. I can tell you which one will hurt more. I can tell you that I had a friend who was induced to coma for about a month in another state. And, why do people who live with cancer but don't know it end up dying 6 months later after they find out? Up here. Not to say that, maybe their stages late. I'm just saying a lot of cases show that. Well, there's something to be said about having that your mind right, having that moral support, having somebody by your bedside, even though you're unconscious, even though you're in the hospital, just someone there you're familiar with, not strangers, supporting you, boosting you. And none of that. He had to survive on his own after dying twice. My wife's aunt passed away recently last week of COVID. And she was in her 60s or 70s, and weak immune system. But ultimately, what do? You can't have a funeral. You can't have a wake. There's certain value that humanity has that we've always respected, that we always paid attention to, that we always put above everything else. The dignity of being a human being, that is overshadowed now by the fear, which it's a lot of it's art. Of course, it's a legit fear. It's a legit thing, but we've also had bubonic plague, Spanish. We've had so much with very little medicine, with very little technology, and not to say that people didn't die. God, millions. And what was it? A third of the world died in the Spanish flu. A third of the world died in the Spanish flu. That's a lot. But look at us now. Look at us here. I'm not immune to death. I'm not immune to COVID either. If I would die for risking my life to try to give my life purpose, I think I will, I think I died with some sort of meaning to dignity, right. Doing whatever I wanted to do. But ultimately, I'm not saying that I wanted to jeopardize other people or put other people at risk. Never that. I take care of myself, of course, and my family. But, there's so much to be said about where we're at. How after 9/11, the world changed. The world changed completely after 9/11. I guarantee you, after COVID, the world's going to change again. Yeah. Like, we're not going to look back at this time before this and say, wow, it's no different. No, it is completely the same. Kids born after 9/11 know nothing but war, bloodshed, death, economic crisis, recession, technology boosting, social media boosting, but a lot of empty relationships. That's their life. And yet we wonder why millennials are the way they are. Hello, look what we exposed them to, dude. Yeah. Look at the life that they grew up in. I can't blame these kids. They're our future. And my goal is to show them that before they were born, shit was all right. We had freedoms. Shit, we had liberty. I mean, we had things that we were able to do, but now because terrorism and now all these things are happening to us that we're forfeiting. I mean, and I guess it's arguable both sides, right? I mean, we have to keep safe and whatnot, but we're forfeiting a lot of the things that we one time took for granted, and we can't look back anymore. We can't say, damn, I want it back now. It's just once it's gone, it's gone. Yeah. And we're evolving, I think, towards the digital age, towards the technology, the AI age, the age where I'm able to tap into whatever, like Messenger, and message you, and then a hologram of me pops up in your like dining room table, and like we're chilling and talking type of thing. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's where we're headed, right? And I think it's totally okay, but we have to not forget about the mental compensation that we're giving up. We'll have to re-nourish that somehow. The dopamine, the oxytocin, the serotonin. We have to nourish that. If not, we're going to head towards a direction where we are nothing but afraid, fearful, scared, and asking and begging people to please protect me and help me, and I'll give you everything I got. Just keep me safe. That's it's a scary little world, if you ask me, but that's the future, I guess.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be said about where, you know, everybody's talking about getting back to normal, this return to normalcy, and I think, you know, that was it was a big flag that was being waved right in the beginning. It was kind of like, hey, you know, we'll get through these couple of weeks, and then we'll get back to this normalcy. I think the longer that this has progressed, the longer that you've had limitations you have, and then you have some things opening up and then having to close back down. State to state is different. You know, my mom lives out in California.
Who gets to stay open? Who gets to not stay open?
Yeah, California is basically, it's where my mom lives. They're basically shut completely back down. You know, here is a little bit different, but you know, there's a buzz that we'll go through another shutdown of everything. But I think one of the things that has really been brought to the light, it was always there, like Zoom. Like we're on Zoom right now, having this podcast, which is streaming live on Twitch. You know, what I think this taught us, and not perfected, but even the homeschooling aspect of it through things like Google Classroom, and it's taught us that a lot of the things that we thought we couldn't do without being face to face can actually be done. Now they may not, it may not be as great. It may not be as, you know, some people really are against, you know, this full on AI movement and where technology is going to take us, because I think everybody, to an extent, you crave human contact. You want to be amongst human beings and, you know, create relationships, and
of course
in whether that's personal relationships or whether that's business relationships, whether it's, you know, the neighbors down the street, they got a kid and we got a kid, and our kids can go and frolic, and we can sit in the back and spit in the backyard and do whatever. But a lot of the things that you kind of originally started talking about here with that mental health issue is that people already had, not everybody, a lot of people have a very weak mind. It just it functions to the world that it's surrounded by. It knows it has to get up at 7:30 so they can get the kids ready by 7:45. They know they have to go to work, and they do XYZ things while they're at work, and then they know they can go to these 4 places for lunch, and then they know that they can.
It's like bees in a hive working for the queen.
Exactly. Without any major stress to the hive, everybody just kind of does their thing. Yeah. But when you take them away from all that and you put them in an environment where they're not used to, one thing that we talked about, having to be home with your significant other and your children, and for elongated periods of time in the beginning when everything was shut down, you couldn't go anywhere, the fear was out, like the toilet paper shortage and everybody's freaking the fuck out. You know, the people were saying, oh, there's going to be a huge baby boom in 9 months. I'm like, no, there's not. There's going to be fucking, the divorce rate's going to go skyrocketing.
Drug use through the roof.
Yeah, drug use.
Domestic violence through the roof.
All the bad stuff. That's what you're going to, people aren't going home and like, I am so glad to get to hang out with you for the next 4 months.
Yeah.
You know,
it overstays its welcome. Maybe for the first week or so, you can try to fake it for a while.
You can do stuff, and you can, hey, we can tackle that project, or hey, be fun. We did a camp out in the backyard. Use the things that we have to make the best of the situation. Then you get to a point where you're like, fuck this shit. Like I don't care. I'm going somewhere. I'm going to do something.
But you want to know why, Coop? And I'm sorry to interrupt. You want to know why? Because they didn't have a purpose. Whatever purpose they thought they had was not their purpose. They were doing it under the clout of someone else's expectations. Do you know that bees without a queen do not sting? If bees do not have a thing to protect a queen, a hive to protect, they will not. You can literally be around a group of bees and they won't even bother you. Like you're not even there. They only attack when they have a purpose to attack, a reason to attack. That gives them meaning. That's what they're built for. So when you throw a wrench inside of a bee's hive and the queen's gone, they don't fall apart. They just do what bees do. They just act normal. They just go about, eat, and then find another queen so they can, be subservient to. So we found a way to artificially project purpose, and then when COVID happened, it took away our purpose. And unlike the bees, we went crazy. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know where to go because the queen was gone. And now what do I do? The creativity aspect, right? Only so many ideas your mind can come up with to do with the kids. But at the end of the day, just wake up, go about your business, be nice, be happy. Try to keep your household in order. Let that be your focus. Right. Let the environment of the household be a positive, be a happy one. Be stupid, be goofy, laugh. I don't know. Don't focus so much on the loss, and just focus right there and then on what you can do to just get past that day. That one day. You don't got to worry about tomorrow, the day after. That one day. Unless your bank account is negative today, you'll be all right tomorrow. Right. That's it. But I think people are starting to realize that. I think the industries that come up, God, no one would deliver before. Now everyone delivers, Right. Contactless this, contactless that. The industry reinvented itself. You couldn't work from home. Now they're just telling you, stay home, please do not come. They're trusting people. Before they wouldn't trust. They didn't think people. We're humans. We will survive. We will reinvent ourselves, but necessity is the mother of invention. If there is no necessity, there will not be any invention. But some people, the ones that aren't, how do I say? I don't want to say doing so well, but the people that are stuck are the ones that are still, first, they still don't know what purpose they have in life. They're still dealing with a lot of other things inside of themselves, their relationship, their children. If some people even resent their children, if you can believe that's a thing. Can you believe that? Imagine like Jordan Peterson says, if you went home every day and you worked 8, 9 hours, 10 hours, and you're stressed out, and then you come home to a kid who cries for 45 minutes to go brush your teeth, go to bed every single day, and you got to tolerate that for however many years, yeah, it's natural that you would probably resent that. Now, there's a fine line, though. You can resent the kid and absorb that, or you could look at it, confront it, not be afraid to engage, not be afraid to tough love, right? Not be afraid to do what's socially unaccepted, what's uncomfortable, whatever the hell it is that we've been programmed in our minds to believe needs to be done in order to create a healthy mind. Shit, look at me. I'm not saying I'm a healthy mind, but I went through hell and back. Right. And I'm not a murderer. I'm not a serial killer. Oprah was raped at 13 years old by a cousin, friend, and uncle. She literally had a kid that was a miscarriage at 13. Hello, Steve Jobs adopted. It's just on and on and on, bro. Yeah. And look at these people now. So you're telling me that a little bit of inconvenience, a little bit of crisis, a little bit of the world is ending, that you visited that dark, dark, dark place, that hellhole that you spent your whole life avoiding, smothering, growing in your business, running away, whatever it is that you've done to escape from that point, and you finally thought you reached it, and then COVID happened and brought you right back to that hell.
Right.
That's the place you should have been at the first. That's where you should have been in the first place. That's the darkness that you should have visited.
Yeah.
Because once you know what the dark looks like, my friend, you will be so thankful that you see the light every day. Yeah. You will thank God that every day you will see light and have an opportunity to spread it. But, you know, some people just, they kind of thrive in darkness for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I think you get a really good image of that, people living in that darkness, but not correctly, not seeing it as a place that you want to get out of, grow out of, but a place that you want to dwell in. I mean, if you go on and spend too much time on social media, especially now, there's a puppy picture every once in a while. Those are nice. Who doesn't like a cute puppy? But there's angst. There's angst in people that I would have never pegged as like why are you
of all people, right?
Cardboard, a computer soldier standing behind your device and just spewing out your truth and the misinformation. I mean, all that stuff that's getting absorbed into your brain that may be factual, may not be factual, may be true, may not be true. You don't even know. The truth may be scarier than the falsehoods that are out there. Your brain can't comprehend it. So you stay in that dark place. And you don't. And
you feed it.
You feed it to other people. Yeah, you feed it to everybody.
You feed it to yourself.
Yeah.
Listen, I know people that will come home, watch the news all day long, all night, all night, and then they feed themselves this crap, and then they go out to the world thinking that they're so informed, so intellectually superior than the rest, when they're being propagandized, and then they're holding on to that animosity. They're holding on to that specific worldview that they know more than others, that they have it all figured out because they sat and injected themselves with truth, quote unquote, right? Facts, quote unquote, right? And then, but mostly fear. And then at the end of the day, want to go out to the world and make a positive impact, or go out there and help people, go out there and think that by what they've consumed, their information is the sole information that anybody needs to know, and then spread that information to you. Naturally, since we're all human beings and have the freedom of choice, when someone either debates you or has a rebuttal or just challenges it, no room for argument. Then that resentment, that animosity, that fear that you've been absorbing in your negative state of mind while you're projecting this sense of positivity comes out instantaneously. And we're going back to the superficialness of what is the reason that you're here? What's the purpose? Right. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And who are you doing it to? I don't know.
Yeah. I think Gary Vaynerchuk said, and he said multiple times, he said, social media has, exposed us for what we are, has shed a light on the dark corners of the country, and this has amplified it, I think, because you do have people spending a lot of time on social media and again, trying to use it maybe initially as an escape mechanism, as maybe I'll find that puppy picture and I'll smile, and that'll be the first time I smiled all day. But then you get wrapped up in the other crap that's going on out there, and you become that resentful person, and it's almost like it's almost contagious. You're like,
it's crazy.
or relationships get lost and broke, long time families.
Oh yeah.
Not agreeing with one another, and I mean, there's so much. There's a lot of negativity out there, just with everything.
Here's the deal. If it wasn't for Steve Jobs getting fired from Apple, there would have been no Pixar. There would have been no iPod, no iPad. It would have never happened.
Right.
So Steve Jobs built a company and got kicked out of his own company. And it was the best thing that could have happened to the guy.
Right.
All I'm saying is the best thing that could have happened to the world is COVID, in my opinion. The best thing. Because at the end of the day, it exposes everybody for who they are. Mm-hmm. It forces you to start tapping into qualities and not just, picking on the low-hanging fruit. And, because, you know how it is, right? You have many companies, it's like, the guy who just is on cruise control because he's been there for so many years, gets the fat check, doesn't do nothing, right? He gets all the good leads, right? And then you got the, the brown noser who just sucks up to the boss all the time, is in the circle, all that stuff, or the cliquish. It's so many different groups, right, that have prospered in their own little, cesspool, right? But when it's all gone, what you good for, bud? Yeah. What can you provide? What can the world get from you? What value do you have to give other people? Oh, you don't have one. Time to figure it out. Oh, you can't figure it out. Well, damn. Why? Because you've been living this life trying to do what other people think is cool, trying to do what other people want to see, and you've never really figured out who the hell you were. And you know how tough that is to do that in your 30s, 40s, and 50s? It's damn near, it's crazy. It's suicidal. It's how people end up committing suicide because it's so impossible almost, because you have to confront so many demons that have been there for so long. Mm-hmm. It's a fight, man, that will it'll tear men down. And we have plenty of men in history that have succumbed to it and or have, like, not to say it's a positive thing, but look at Hitler, right? If Hitler did not get arrested initially, he would have never written the Mein Kampf. If the Mein Kampf, while he was in jail, he would never written the Mein Kampf. The Mein Kampf wasn't even widely liked. It was like, a little book, whatever, kind of good points. But then things happened throughout history, which he saw and took advantage of, and then it became big. And all I'm saying is, these tragic things, even for people that are kind of twisted in the head, can have a dramatic, impactful outcome if you know how to use your resources, if you know how to tap into it, if you know what to do. Delivery, perfect example. No one would have done it. Now everybody's done it. I don't think it's going back. Shit, when they started giving away liquor, like, I go to the restaurant and get booze and leave it. Oh my God. I'm like, this should be a staple across the country. This is what I'm talking about. A margarita to go? Hell yeah.
Yes, please. But, sign me up.
That's me just being silly, because obviously the ramifications of that are just a nightmare. I don't even want to go into that.
Right. Yeah. There's some downfall there. That's probably why they don't do alcohol delivery yet. Because I don't have to drive and pick up another 12-pack. Somebody will bring it to me. This is amazing. It's a slippery slope there. But I do think that there have been industries that have made that pivot, have made the transition into, okay, either we change how we operate, or we will cease to operate. We will have to close down, and things have happened. Places have closed. The restaurants have closed and are not coming back. There's bars that have closed, and there's companies that have shut down, closed the doors, not ever going to open back up. I think you also have a certain group in the population in the business world who have learned that they can do things. They don't need to have 60 people on staff. They can utilize technology that's out there. And you don't need to have a huge brick and mortar if you have your people working remotely, or they can, do a check-in. They can have conferences on Zoom or on Skype or on Google. There's people that are innovating because of COVID, and I don't think that the other side of this is 2019. I don't think it looks like last year. No. I think it's going to be incredibly different, and you're going to see, I think, a very clear and defined line of people who embrace it, because it's going to be, I don't want to say the law of the land, but things are going to be different. And there's going to be people that fight it. And how big the group that wants to fight the new norm, there could be some, I don't want to say, we're splitting the country in half, but that you could have a group of people that say, you know what, we're going to go take Texas, and we're just that's going to be where we have our own rules.
I don't know. I understand both sides. I really do. What pisses me off is following or being mandated to do something that I know is absolutely nonsensical, ineffective, and useless. So because I have a brain that kind of thinks, and I say, okay, what really does work, what doesn't work? And perception is the new judicial system. The social shaming, social perception is now the new law. I mean, you don't even have to get charged with the crime anymore.
Mm-hmm. Right.
As long as you're perceived to have done it, that's it. You're done. You're done forever.
Yeah.
So perception is, as long as I have a mask on my face, you should feel like you're safe. And as long as you have it, you feel like I'm safe. Cool, not a problem. And I get that. All day long, 8 hours a day, however many hours I have to wear this damn mask, smell my own breath, do my own, develop a rash, God forbid that I'm not cleaning it, of course, because I'm busy, I don't have things going on, I forget to clean it. Bacteria starts getting fantastic. When there's a litany of tests or studies that show the mask COVID's not going to like, oh my God, I see a mask, I'm going to touch you.
Right.
No, you're breathing air, bro. You're going to get it. If you're in an environment that people are, that's spread, right? You're going to, it's the way it works. So when I have Menards telling me, here's a mask, I'm going to charge you for it, by the way, to come into my place.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I understand it. You want to be safe. But are you doing it because of the perception or because it really fucking works? Because last time I checked, I'm still going to get it with the mask. Right. I'll still get it, bro. So what's the point of it? Are you trying to reduce it? Are you trying to, it's just, again, it's back to perception. I brought my 1-year-old daughter into Woodman's like a few months ago, and I had no idea there was a ban on kids or whatever. I had no clue. I just walked in there. I had to go get a bottle of scotch, just in and out, boom, boom. And my daughter's, she's a Puerto Rican Mexican girl. She's is very pretty little girl. So whenever we go out in, predominantly Caucasian town, people are always like, oh, I'm beautiful, beautiful, pretty. So I'm thinking people are looking at her because, she's a cute little girl, right?
Right.
And that's my brain thinking. I'm just used to it. So I'm leaving and I'm like, all of a sudden this thought came to my mind. Holy shit. She's not supposed to be in here. I felt like instantaneously my natural reaction to socially conditioned reaction was to feel shame, was to feel like, oh my God, I fucked up. Like to judge, put myself down for being so dumb. And then I realized, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I, wait a minute. I created this, right? I'm the dad, as I checked. The mom's over here. I get to do and say whatever the fuck I want to my child. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be nuts, but I'm the parent. Mm-hmm. If not to say it's right or wrong, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not recommending people to do it either. But I'm saying if I choose to put my child at risk it's my child. Now, I will suffer the consequences, however the fuck the law is, but hey, it's my fucking child.
Right.
And if my child gets sick, then it dies, whatever, it's my fault. I fucked up. But why? Now, God, I spit outside, like far away from the entrance of festival once, and some lady in scrubs walks by me and gives me the nastiest look, as if I'd opened a letter of anthrax and just sprinkled it over the. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm being socially shamed here. I'm being socially judged here for doing something that other people have been told is a bad thing. And God forbid that somebody calls the cops or whatever, and the cops come. Now I'm having to defend myself as a parent against people's, the crowd's, the mob's opinion that I did something wrong. Right. And the officers, they're having to make a decision and say, what do I do? Because there's no law in the fucking books that says COVID, whatever. But I have to do something, right? Because the crowd, the majority is now saying do something. So we have that society, right? But then we got the other side. We got the side that I was agreeing with, because I'm a let live guy. Mm-hmm. But be smart about it. Don't be stupid, right?
Right.
Texas, a lot of those states that were very loose with it, like, what, let whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. You know what? That's the way I like it. Let the people, like history has shown, do what they do. If they get it, they did whatever. But now the tides have turned. Now Texas is a fucking hotbed. Now Florida is a hotbed. Yeah. So now I'm looking back saying, wait a minute, see? Like I've always said, the extremes are the worst. If you are far on one another, you're done. You are a stool pigeon. You are a sheep being led to your slaughter. And so I'm realizing that there is a fine line. Both sides have great points. Both sides are trying to do what they think is right. But God damn it, give us humans a chance to fucking prove ourselves. Let us let us show you that we can do it. I mean, don't coop us in and say that we're being protective and social distancing. No, man, that's called like get away from your neighbor. That's called it's just creating this mindset of detachment of like the New York mentality that I was, the East Coast mentality. I don't know, you know me, get the fuck out the way type thing. And it's not happening. And what that brings it, what that births is a very lack of trust, a very hyper vigilant mindset, which causes paranoia. And the kids, they're influenced by that. And then they grew up in a world of unsafe, and then not knowing that we have a country founded on constitutional rights and so on and so forth, not knowing that they're going to give up all their rights because they want to be secure. Right. They grew up in a world that was crazy, so now they want to feel secure. So yeah, I don't need this, I don't need that, take it. And it's it's kind of like there's a fine line. There really is, and I hope that we can find it. I'll do my best to help people find it, but I don't know, bro. Yeah. We'll see.
There was a big mentality right off the get with COVID and how it, this, we're all in this together was a big hashtag. There was and I think I felt it too, just from the not leveling of the playing field necessarily, but but I was like, it's cool. For me, I deal with a lot of musicians and artists and stuff. And I know that they were struggling because their industry is still completely shut down, probably will be through next year.
I'm sorry, man. I messed up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. But there's, better. Thank you. I feel safer.
I don't want you to get it.
Yeah, I'm going to catch it through the Zoom lens here. But there is,
smell-o-vision.
But you felt like, okay, we're all kind of dealing with this. It sucks for everybody. Yeah. There was kind of, even with that social distancing in place, you did feel right out of the gate when they shut everything down back in March that, okay, together in 2 weeks, go team, America, we're going to get through this. Kids will go back to school. Everything will be back to normal. But as soon as it got to economic crisis and people really started to see, I think the mental wear and that became really prevalent. That's when you think you still have that big divide. You still have the extremes. You have a lot of people, probably the silent majority riding in the middle going, I don't know, I guess I'll just, if they require a mask, I'll wear one. If they don't, I won't. But I don't feel the we're all in this together vibe anymore. I feel like it's grounding on, I want to say us versus them, but a little bit, man. But then there's a whole nother, then there's the section of conspiracy theorists that are out there that are throwing their 2 cents into the mix. You're like, gee, I don't even know, man. I don't even know.
Well, I heard this theory about the government did it because they can install 5G everywhere. Now 5G is all over the place, so they can monitor us, Big Brother, whatever, dude. Listen, if you want to go down that rabbit hole and go down every conspiracy rabbit hole, please, dude, be my guest. There's plenty of YouTube videos that you can suck your life into. Right. And disappear. Please do it. Knock yourself out. I'll just block you on Facebook, or I'll just I won't even see your post anymore because you're on some Looney Tune shit.
I've done that.
But here's the deal.
I've done that.
Oh, dude, I have to, because it's every fucking day. It's like, I get it that you're the philosophical genius of politics and about everything to do with life. So therefore, I need to know about it. I was that guy several years ago. And then I realized nobody gives a shit. I didn't change one person's fucking opinion because they're doing the same shit they did before I did it and after I did it.
Right.
So, it's like, okay, my father works in Centro Médico in Puerto Rico. That is the number one hospital. I think it's a VA hospital in Puerto Rico. So naturally, it would be the most advanced, the most fully equipped. The one that all the resources go to. And my mom, my stepmom, his wife, she works from home. So he was here 2 weeks before this whole insanity happened. Then he left, and he left to a shit show in Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico, it's different, right? Like our people are more like, don't tell me what to do, tell me what to live. And more importantly, it's a more of like a mentality I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'll get what I get. Who cares? Very lackadaisical, because, march to the beat of our own drum, hence why we're so creative, hence why music and that is just our thing, right? So anyways, he did that. He had to deal with all the COVID stuff. Now, so my father, okay, he's been not a doctor, not a nurse. He's like a nurse, but like higher up, I have no idea, but he he's someone that they need, of course. So he's been there for 20 years, and he came a few weeks ago, like a week or two ago, he came. And, they're wearing masks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad is, he's a medical scientifically based mindset. So he knows all of the things of that and the other and what can affect it. So he comes here to my place and he's like, why are you letting your kid go outside? I'm like, because he wants to go outside. But the COVID, what are you talking about? COVID, he didn't get COVID. I'm like, he's like, you have no idea what I said. I'm like, well, Daddy's outside to begin with. And more importantly, that happened. Last I checked, we're at wind, right? It's not all this stuff. So very few people are out. He's not in a crowded area. He's riding a bike.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too concerned about my son getting COVID. And I know my neighbors, and I know my neighbors enough to know that if they had it, they wouldn't even leave their house. And if they had it, I know, but more importantly, the word will spread like that. I mean, we'd all know they have COVID, right? And they're nice enough, and obviously they know my family, that they wouldn't jeopardize us like that.
Mm-hmm.
My wife pregnant, well, she was pregnant at the time. We just had a son, 3 weeks old. So now, mind you, she owns a business, which is a barbershop, which has clients coming in and people from random places all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she has to trust that the customers that are coming in after they let everything reopen again are not going to come in knowing that they're sick or with a fever or whatever, to then get a pregnant woman potentially, infected, or
right.
whoever else is there. So that's happening. But my father and my stepmom, again, family members here are just super paranoid, arguably so, because Puerto Rico, it's terrible.
Right.
But arguably so, very precautious to the extreme. And I have to, every decision that I make as parents and as grandparents, I have to reassure them, it's all right, guys, it's going to be okay. We're, and here in this area, you don't have to wear your mask here, you don't have to wear your mask there.
Mm-hmm.
And it took them a while to acclimate. But understand that the natural human reaction to prevent yourself from a hug, from a handshake, from a pound,
mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to like they say, if you say something 7 times, remember it. Well, you have to do it over and over again to stop yourself from doing that natural human reaction you've done since the beginning of humanity.
Right.
And now that they came, I had to, adjust them to let go of that a little bit and trust a little more, and understand that as a parent, I got it. I know you're a parent and your parents are, I got it. I'm not going to put my kid, but that's just family, right? And they have no choice but to accept that.
Right.
How about your neighbor? How about your coworker? How about somebody at the store? How about people who you don't even know or have that much attachment to you, who feel that what you're doing is wrong or what you're doing is not enough, and they feel so compelled to do something about it that they do. They tell you, they say this, or that. Lady looks at me bad, or whatever the situation is. We're pitting people against each other because everybody has their opinion. My cousin's married to a nurse or something. She works at a hospital, and my wife posts something on Facebook, whatever, talking about COVID, just chill out, whatever. And she replied back with this. I mean, with the arrows, the spears, the guns, I've seen people dying. I'm like, dude, we get it. Well, I'm not saying that it's not real.
Right.
It's happening. But like a cop puts his life at risk every day when he puts that uniform on and goes out. But he chose to be a cop. Like it's not like I have to now feel bad every day, every time I see a cop and say, are you okay? Is everything fine? I mean, are you sure? Like, did someone shoot you? He's a cop. That's what he's doing.
Right.
That's what he's done. He assumes that responsibility. But she felt so compelled to tell us or let us know whatever information, whatever real life experiences she went through during this COVID period and seen the results of it, that there was no room for any debate, for any argument, for any different of opinion. I'm right. I've seen it. I lived it. You're wrong. Fix your shit. And I'm talking about like very hostile. We're not talking about like civil, hostile. And I'm like, never someone we'd ever expect. But that's the amount of tenseness, amount of fear that people are under. And we've gotten a little bit away from it. But when the second round comes, I'm afraid, my friend, to find out what's going to happen, because it's like knowing the storm's coming and knowing what the fuck the storm did to you last time. And it's like, oh my God, I don't think I want to see that. I don't want to experience that again.
Right.
Because it just fucked so much shit up. So I'm afraid to see. The second round is what I'm more afraid about, because the first one we can get through. The second one is we'll really get to, like David Goggins says, the weak-minded. We'll get to wean them out and see who they are. And the sad part is I wish I was there to help people and get through that. But what do you do?
Yeah.
But that's COVID. I want to talk about business and rebuilding.
Yes. There's I think there is a good there's a foothold here, from the COVID thing to talk about business. And I mean, you obviously starting a new company during this, and for me trying to navigate a very baby business through, when my my main source of income, working with with barbershops and salons with my product, when they're shut down, there is a survival of the fittest kind of mentality, I think, if you're established. But I think there's also, from the vantage point that you're coming from, where you, like the companies that pivoted during COVID to adjust how they operate in order to keep themselves operational. If you go and you're sitting in an experience, I think you and I experience social media, we kind of breathe it in differently. It's you look at it and say, is that, if it's an ad, is that really creative? Did that grab me this way? This company is, put this video out. Does this, does that seem like something I could do? Or graphics, the amount of content. So I think we breathe it in differently. But to be able to, during all of this, notice that there is there's a crowd that is there's a certain section of business that is underserved in that digital marketing avenue. There's companies out there that do it, and we had this conversation, I think, over the phone last week. There's companies out there that do it, and they do it half-assedly, or they do it and it doesn't have the right. If you have that kind of mindset, you can decipher, like, this ad or this promo or this piece of content doesn't align with the company that they are trying to talk about. There was a steel company, steel, and the videos that I watched, you got guys cutting steel and welding, and there's flames, and there's the fucking masks on and stuff, and then you have kind of this like happy voice. I'm like, no, you come in there with some like Darth Vader motherfucker, just like steel.
Right.
So I think the fact that you witnessed that and realized that there's an audience out there that could be served better, with the kind of content you're creating, and to do it during COVID. I mean, that shows that it's not, we're not standing on the edge of the cliff looking down because the world's about to end. There's still opportunity to prosper right now.
Yeah. From my experience, the reason I started, how this all began was the book. Mm-hmm. I started writing a book, and how's the old, right? It's a sacrifice, right? It's sacrifices are what show you, what really means something in life, like what you should value or not, what's important or not. Mm-hmm. And that was my baby. That is, I think I've spent 4.5 years writing it. And it was a thankless job. Didn't get paid a penny for it, because you don't get paid until you publish. And even still, unless you write chicken soup for the soul, you're not getting paid much. Trust me. Books aren't making millions out there. Let me tell you that. It's it's the door that it opens that creates the income. Mm-hmm. So I was doing that. And then I started coaching or helping people, friends and things like that. And then I realized that, I'm going to have to create a social media brand out there sometime. I have to go out there and introduce myself to the world. Mm-hmm. So how best could I do it? Well, I should at least, make videos, right? Start off making just a phone video giving people the motivation that I wish I had during, my worst times. So I did that, used my phone, but I didn't. I'm a person that it's all about quality versus quantity, and I just felt that I could do better, and I knew that if I wanted something done, and I didn't have much money to do it, I had to do it my damn self.
Right.
So, videography is it's a very expensive industry, and as far as hiring a videographer, because there's so much that goes into the conception of what it is that you want to create, and lighting, lenses, time of day, site location, equipment, models, actors, blah 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 blah. So you have all this stuff, and at the end of the day, I said, okay, I'm not going to pay somebody thousands of dollars to do something that I can do by my damn self. So I'll buy a camera. Bought a camera, bought this, just kept buying stuff here and there, and started, learning about lighting, learning about editing. I had no clue about how to edit anything, but I knew that I had a brain and I was a very creative person. I'm a very creative person. So I started learning that, made videos out there, got my name out there. I pushed away the social embarrassment, the judgment, or whatever it is that people are afraid of doing things. For those reasons, I didn't. I said, you know what's true? People are going to judge no matter what. People are going to hate no matter what. So what they do. People naturally hate. God, 80% of our thoughts every single day are negative across the board.
Yep.
90% of those thoughts, we think about 70 to 90,000 thoughts a day. 70 to 90,000 thoughts a day. 80% are negative. Then 92% of our brain is unconscious, meaning the subconscious, not the autonomic, but the autonomic part of the brain, where it just guides everything and controls who you are. Then 8% of that is conscious, what you think of every day. So 70 to 90,000 thoughts a day. 80% of those are negative. And to top it off, 90% of those, or 90% of those are the same thoughts you thought the day before. They're repeating thoughts. Yeah. So if you're repeating the same negative thought that many times every single day, likely you're going to stay in a perpetual cycle of negativity unless you change your mindset, right? You have to force yourself to do it, which means you have 8% to do that, right? That's because that's 8% that you have to control. So if you have a pie, and this much of the pie is something you can't control, and this much is how much you can control, how hard is it to change?
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
You don't have much.
Yeah.
It's just this little much. So you have to force yourself to think outside of the box, right? And I said, cool, I have all this stuff. And we opened up the Dapper Man. My wife has the Dapper Man and whatnot. So we got that business going. And we started getting into videography, hiding out. Who can make this? So chartered companies came, other people came, and I'm looking at the creativity. I'm looking at the equipment. It's like this big camera. You like a bazooka to kill an ant. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, this is gonna come out dope. And then you see the final result, and you're like, well, first of all, not what I asked for to begin with. So thank you for doing your own thing. I know you think it's cool, but we don't. And secondly, me from my aspect, not that impressed. I mean, I got 2 DSLRs here, and I can not do as good of a quality image as that, but I can do a way better 15, 30-second ad than that,
right?
With very little and half the cost. So I started, going around and asking companies, and moreover, I knew a lot of business owners, and I also know that, being here for 10 years, as long as I have, a lot of businesses tend to want to stay in a time capsule. They reject technology. It's like they'd rather have a filing cabinet full of files than actually, download stuff and put it in a folder and back it up, right? They'd rather do that. They don't want to become efficient. They don't want to deal with logistical, intertwining with syncing, social media, syncing email, syncing just sites that you can post something and go live everywhere else, or they just don't want to advance right now, let alone trying to engage with a social media site. So TV, yes, we all know who owns TVs. We all know who runs the charter, blah, 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 the companies. And we all know how expensive it is to run an ad on TV. Yes, it'll hit a big market, don't get me wrong. But are you really going to pay that much money for an ad that will generate X amount? But believe you me, at the end of the day, with just a little bit more work and time, you can do the same thing on social media and for free.
Yeah.
Obviously, for free. It's a free site. You can do it however you want.
Mm-hmm.
So I started advertising for social media content like I had. I created social media content for other people to get value out of. And it's an industry that no one can touch. No one, I mean, no matter what type of environment you live, politically, socially, economically, colloquially, whatever the culture is like, doesn't matter if they hate it or like it. They can't touch it. It's right. The World Wide Web. It's your domain. So therefore, you can do and say whatever you want, and you will deal with the repercussions, good or bad, however they come. So I knew that's an avenue I couldn't, I had at my disposal that I was good at, that I knew about, and that I could express myself and not have to feel like I have to wear a suit and tie, not have to feel like I have to, act a certain way, look a certain way, talk a certain way, be a certain way around, people who don't understand me or don't know, what it's like, or I maybe look like the image of everything they were told is not good, whatever it is. But I don't have to worry about that because I can control my own destiny at this point. But I had to put the book on hold. COVID forced me to put the book on hold. COVID exposed a lot. And I realized that, yes, the dream is there. I'm going to finish this book, but I have to get a few things first. I have to, build the foundation and create the empire. And then when I get that going, then I could go ahead and start going back to the book, back to the things that I want, that give me meaning, give me purpose. And a lot of people want to strive, and they will die, and they will sacrifice, and they will walk over, do whatever to chase that dream and create that vision and fantastic. But let me tell you something. No one's going to pay for your dream. No one's going to make an easy path there. No one's going to guarantee you it's going to happen. So either you have a safety net, something to fall back on, or you're going to end up in a very, very bad place, a place where you're now having to decide what's the meaning of your life at this point, why even keep going. So, reinventing myself is something that I've always done, and I had to do that. So I had the equipment, and I said, I went out there, and now I did a video for Momentum Fitness, Jim Brewer. My first, shout out to Momentum Fitness for giving me my first opportunity. I used a drone, the gimbal, all my lenses, and I went all out as far as my first video is concerned. But for me, it's all about, and that's what I think video should always be, about feeling, right? If you don't feel something with what I'm doing, then I don't have you. If you watch TV without audio, it's literally useless. Like you will not feel anything. You won't be sold. But if you turn the TV off and hear the audio, you will probably be sold. Put the visual and put the audio in there, along with an emotion. You have somebody captivated. You add a little bit of call outs, call out there. People don't want to read. They just want to see a little blip here. Oh, facts. Because now that you have them engaged audibly and visually, they can now absorb the information that you're giving them, and that way it becomes engraved in their brain. And that way you have a bigger opportunity to sell. Because one more thing is the mere measurement effect. Mere measurement effect is a process of telling somebody something. Like for example, if I want to buy a new car, and then all of a sudden you buy one next week, and tell me you bought, I look about a new car. I am 36 or 35% chances, 36% likelier to buy a car within 6 months than I was if you hadn't bought that car.
Yeah.
Because it's suggesting something to someone else that you already want, or giving them an idea in their brain. For example, like giving, like a teenager, when you go out to your friends and party, if you end up in this situation, do this, and do that, do this, do that, do that, as opposed to, you better not do this, you better not do that, you better not do that. Well, good luck, because now they have no idea how to solve the problem when they're in it.
They know what not to do, not what to
You're
do.
not to do. Great.
Yeah.
Now tell the kid, if you end up in this situation, as uncomfortable as it is and messed up as you think you want to, just have the damn conversation. You tell the kid when they're in that situation, they're 36% likelier to follow through on it because you told them than they were if you hadn't told them. So that's the way I look at it, that, video is able to impact people, and I want to tell stories. I want to get this community. I want to go to every business that I can and get this community known to other people. I want people's story to be told. How'd you get this business? Why'd you get this business? What kind of emotion do you want to project? What kind of customers do you want? I just want people's stories to be told. And I'm going to figure out a way to do it.
And I watched the Momentum spot, and it's fantastic. You did an incredible job on that. And I think that there is something to be said about when you have an understanding of the audience, when you know, because we've become kind of desensitized to advertising. We can skip commercials on TV. I think the social media the social media sites have done a great job of kind of this integration of advertisements that you don't even really know are advertisements. You're like, oh, hey, that's really cool. Like I was looking up something for my Jeep the other day, and all of a sudden I got, all of a sudden Big Brother's listening.
Algorithm.
I'm like, oh, wow, I guess I need all of this stuff. But
correct.
But to be able to tell a story, to have something that's visually engaging, that's also, when the audio and the video makes sense together, it's like that steel one I talked about. I'm like, these two things should not be in the same universe, really. But there is that market, though. I mean, there is a lot of people that can't grasp the social media part of it. They don't understand. There's still, believe it or not, in 2020, some old school thinking of the things you mentioned. They don't want to digitize their files. They want to, people
they don't trust it.
People will know about them because they word of mouth, or the phone book, or newspaper ads, or fucking radio, shit that has over the course of time has proven itself to be less effective than where the majority of human beings who have the capabilities to view things in a social media sense, not even in a social media sense necessarily, even on a Google search.
Yeah.
That's where their attention is. They have a question about something. They're interested in that car that you talked about.
Yep.
They don't go to the dealership.
Nope.
They say, hey, Google, show me, the new Ford Bronco.
Yep.
And you'll get images and facts, and then miraculously, hey, there is one, you like the black one with the red rims.
Yeah.
We have one right here, strangely enough, available in 3.7 miles from your home. Would you like to make an appointment to view it? Everything it can be done digitally now, but there's
a balance.
Yeah.
There's a balance. I have a digital business card. You tap it on someone's phone.
Mm-hmm.
If they have NFC, like a pay, whatever, registered, and all my information pops up. Because I think business cards are useless, the paper ones, because what do? You sit in your wallet or throw it in the pile and nobody ever gets it.
Right.
So a digital business card. Boom. I was in the mall one day and I seen someone that I always see work at a certain location, and I just see them outside of work, and hey, what am I talking about? Oh, I do this and the other. Cool. Oh, you got a card? Yeah, I got a card. Here's the card. Boom. Just got to tap it on your phone. So as I go to tap it, this girl freaks out. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm giving you my information. What do you mean? Like, with the card? Like, it's going to be in my phone? You're going to tap into my phone? No, I'm going to tap it so you can have my information pop on the website. I don't know. How do you know I'm going to take my stuff? Like, what are you talking about? I'm just giving you my information. I mean, she went from, yeah, I want your information to, I don't know if you're going to get into my bank account and steal my money.
Right.
Yeah, because the guy who buys stuff at your store is not going to rob you, at the mall through some sort of little, it's just a magical card that I can just tap. Whatever, dude. So, you have that mindset. This girl was like in her young 20s. So we're not talking about old funny nutties here. Right. Young kid. And listen, there is a way to move forward and integrate with the technology that's happening. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, there has to be an acceptance of change.
Right.
If you can't change, then you're going to stay stuck. doing the same thing you've always done. And for me, the number one thing that stopped me from doing this before, man, was my lack of believing that I was qualified.
Mm-hmm.
I just, you have all these other companies that do it. It's a real good equipment and went to school to become videographer, college degrees on stuff. And I'm like, I'm not qualified, man. I don't have what it takes to build a company. I don't have what it takes to shoot it. No one would hire me. Right. And plus, what would those other guys say? Look at this little amateur trying to act like he's this and that. And look at him trying to, ruin our industry, whatever. And then COVID happened and everything shut down. And, you lost everything. And I'm like, fuck this, fuck them, and fuck their opinion at this point. Right. I'm going ham for it. And I'm going to undercut you for half because I can most likely do it for half and be all right. And you're not going to like it because I'm going to be a little more creative than you. And at the end of the day, you can talk all the shit you want, but I'm doing it online. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. That's it. I'm gonna empty hammer.
Oh, you just get the hammer dance going on now over here. Shit's getting wild.
Oh God.
Out of control.
And listen. Joking around. I joke around a lot. I'm a jokester, but in all honesty, I want to introduce flavor. Like, look at my backdrop. I want to introduce something different to this town, which has so much potential. I mean, dude, I went and shot a video, which I'm not done yet with my own personal motivational video at the some art museum, art place over there on Claremont, where they have a lot of graffiti on the things.
Oh yeah, Artisan Forge.
Artisan Forge.
Yep.
Artisan Forge. Yes.
Yep.
So I was shooting my video in the backdrop of that graffiti or whatever they were doing, and some guy came out and he's like, hey, I got a stool here if you want to sit. And it was like a little beat up stool. I'm like, perfect, because it just matches the character of my video. And we talked to each other, and he's the owner. He said, I'm the owner here, and he does the sculptures, this and that, the other, and he has a solar company. And I'm like, this is what you do for a living? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, this is a great job. This is a fun job. He says, you're the first person to ever come to this location and do a video or do anything, like feature us. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? With all of this here,
right? No
one's ever thought about doing anything here. He's like, yeah, no one. I'm like, that right there, like it just light bulb effect. I'm like, okay, it's not just my ego now or my arrogance saying I'm just more creative,
right?
Like literally, no one's even trying. Yeah. So I said, okay, I got to go out there and do something, whether people like it or not. I just have to introduce them something different, and I'm not even working off Adobe Premiere. I'm working off another program. Adobe Premiere is the pro stuff, which is the next step that I'm going to take and learn that. And once I master that, I don't even want to know what I can create.
Right.
Because it's endless at that point.
I think there's a big, people have a lot of fear when you talk about starting any new company, and even you talked about having that mental block that was like, I don't know how to use this stuff. I don't,
I'm not qualified.
Not qualified. Yeah. I don't have the knowledge yet, but I think when you embrace the fact that you really can self-teach yourself, you can teach yourself really anything. You can teach yourself any program, learn the basics, Google, even this, when during COVID, I took the podcast from just strictly being, the audio version of it to, a friend of mine saying, hey, what did you ever think about doing like live stuff on Twitch? And I was like, and so he kind of walked me through the back ends of that. And now instead of just having, the podcast audio, now, there's a live stream element to it. Then the video gets saved on Twitch, and then now it gets uploaded to YouTube, and then the audio comes out. So you kind of have this three-headed monster. Now, I had no idea, this program I'm using right now, Streamlabs, I had no idea how any of it worked.
No.
I was like a monkey doing a math problem. I'm like, But then you look into it and you touch the buttons a little bit and you go, okay, okay, don't do that. Now I know, don't do that. Try this. This works.
Yes.
And it's, again, we've talked about this, I think even in the previous podcast, is if you're always growing, you're always adding things to your knowledge base. Like, now I know how to do this. You going through and learning all the programs and how to put these videos together. If you just, now all this stuff is just, it's in the arsenal. We're carrying around a pretty big pack of weapons back here just because of the things that a lot of it self-taught.
But don't go against your nature.
Right.
If I'm not a numbers guy, I mean, I can do numbers. Don't get me wrong, I can do math semi-quickly. But put me behind a desk and have me as accountant, I'd rather get a bottle of whiskey and a revolver and I'm done. Because there is no way I'm doing that.
Yeah.
It is torture. I'm not a numbers guy. That I know that. That's my nature. That's not my strength. Now, could I practice and train myself to be one? Absolutely. But do I want to invest the time and do that? Absolutely not.
Right.
So therefore, I'm not going to do it. I have to go with my strengths are. Don't be a dummy. If you know you're not good at something, don't go against the grain, guys. I mean, Muhammad Ali was not meant to be a sprinter. He's just meant to knock your ass.
Yeah,
I mean, hello,
knock motherfuckers out.
mean, it's look at this perfect quote here from Muhammad Ali. It's one of my favorite quotes, and it pretty much says, "Champions aren't made in gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them: a desire, a dream, a vision. They have to have last-minute stamina. They have to be a little faster. They have to have the skill and the will, but the will must be stronger than the skill." It's very simple.
Yeah.
You
So true.
had the will. I had the will. If our will didn't force us to say, I'm going to learn this whether I want, if I'll be damned if I don't get this done, then we would have never got this done. You would have never been there. I would have never been here. This would have never happened.
Yeah. There's you do have to, I think, find the things that you are passionate about. You can, it kind of, it's the fine line between those who are totally comfortable doing, I don't even say the 9 to 5, but that job that is really going and doing the exact same thing every day. There's people that are fine with that, and that's great. I mean,
Cool.
that's if it
Absolutely.
food
We
on the
need
table, it keeps society functioning. Absolutely. But I do think if you find something that you are driven and passionate to do, and you're like, I really want to do this. I really want to, have this beard care line, all of a sudden have 21 products and white label for other companies. And I want it to get to a point where I don't have to be in the lab doing the work. I want to be out creating new things. If you can find, well, I don't really know how to do this part of it. If you're driven, you will go through the lengths to learn how to get things done. Like, I need to know how to, apply these labels the correct way. What am I doing wrong on this particular mix? Okay, I will learn that stuff because my end game, where I want to be with this company, I'm driven to get there, no matter what it takes. If I have to sit down and learn a new program or dissect, why white beeswax works better in my products than yellow, I mean, I'll do that, the kind of stuff, because there is an innate passion to get to that next level with not just this company, with the podcast, with other adventures I got going on. So if you find something you're passionate about, it's not going to be a 9 to 5. It's going to be any hour of the week that needs to be, you need to be working on your craft. You're going to work on it.
And you know what? At the end of the day, dude, I mean, you can attest to this as much as I could. Nothing, and I mean absolutely zero things, are going to be achievable. Anything that you want is you're not going to be able to achieve unless you have faith. And I don't mean faith, you can have faith in God, whatever. I don't care about that. But there has to be a source of hope, right? There has to be, to me at least, a source of hope. There has to be something, some being, I don't care what it is that you go to. I don't care if it's a freaking crayon, whatever it is, but something that gives you the hope that if you do pursue this, things will work out, that things are going to get better. There is faith in knowing that if you dive in the deep end, you're not going to drown. There is hope that at the end of this marathon, I'm going to see the finish line through hell or high water. So, you got to have that. And if you don't have a source of hope, and if you don't have faith, then you're never going to be able to get past the stump of strategizing. Because with a clogged brain of mess and fear and doubts and worries, there's no way you can sit down and strategize a plan on how to attack this. There's no way you're going to sit down and be like, what do I do? What's step 1? What's step 2? What's step 3? Because you're just full of so much fear, so much negativity. And then when you strategize that plan, what's the next step? Execute it immediately. Don't sit and wait. Don't blah, 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 blah. Just do it. Just go. Get it done. Yeah. Get it done. The first step, boom, you realize it wasn't that hard, right? Boom, it wasn't that hard. Then after that, start restructuring. Start, create a code of ethics, create boundaries, create stand for something, mean something, like, this is who I am, and this is my yes, this is my no, this is the line, I'm drawing the line, I will never cross it and you will never cross it, right? And we'll always stay happy that way. but create a new foundation for yourself, man. A code of ethics that you can be proud of, feel good of, and other people can obviously recognize, so they know who you are when you walk in the room,
right?
And without you saying a thing. And then ultimately, assess, adapt, and then recycle, assess and adapt. That's it. You assess the situation. If you're not progressing, if things are not going well, if money's not coming in, if clients aren't calling you, if people are saying no, assess it. Mm-hmm. How do I adapt? How do I adjust? And then how do I adapt? How am I able to thrive in this recession? How am I able to thrive during COVID? Mm. What's out there? And then when you do that, always repeat. You can't sit in a situation where you think you got it all figured out, because there's going to come the other dude, the younger dude, someone else who's going to smoke you. Yep. And then you're going to be that person, when I was in school, I used to throw the football over the mountain. Yeah, right.
Not very far, but I do it. No, I think to kind of wrap on this, but the COVID in business and what it's done and what it will do, which is sad in a lot of aspects. But I don't want to say a thinning of the herd in a life death situation. But there are people who, when this type of challenge, unexpected challenge happens, the immediate thought process doesn't go to, okay, how do I adapt to the current climate, the current situation? What are things that I know that I can't do? I can't go and sell beard products to barbershops that are not open. I can't. It doesn't,
Hey, but you can cut the hell out of a lawn. Can you mow lawn? Yeah. You can mow the hell out of a lawn, I bet.
But if you what are you using your time for? Because it'd be really easy to go, well, this didn't work. It's never gonna bounce back. I went in and we got a couple of contracts to white label for other companies. So we're doing stuff not even our brand, but we're utilizing our knowledge and capabilities and location to be able to do stuff for others, because that's what is currently available. People will throw in the towel. Businesses will close. Small businesses will not reopen because they don't go through that assessment of, okay, here's the current situation. And yeah, it's tough. It sucks. Can you wake up one day and everything's open, next day everything's closed, then it's open, then it's closed, then it's open at 50% cap, and then there's new rules and regulations, and you have to have, I think, empathy and understanding for the businesses that you work with to know that they are also struggling through this time. Mm-hmm. But the ones that come out on the other side, I think, will be in a much better place, stronger. They'll know what they are able to survive, and that's going to be the thinning of the herd, because you're going to have a lot of people that are like, it's easier for me. This is too much. I need to go out and get a 9 to 5, or I got to go, flip burgers, because I can't make the adjustment. And nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that.
But if you're not going to find ways to adjust and make your business, malleable a little bit, then
we all know our worth.
Yeah.
We know what we're worth. We know what we can give. We know what we can provide to the world. And if you're selling yourself short because you're not willing to adapt, and you're now letting yourself die, and you have to flip burgers, not a fucking problem. Listen, that is as much of a dignified job as any other job, and a needed job. But you know your value, and now you're selling yourself short because you're not willing to do the hard way. You're not willing to put in that work.
Right.
So don't tell me about the glory days and the things you used to have now that you're flipping burgers.
Right.
And don't complain about flipping burgers either, my friend, because you chose to do it when you had an option not to.
Right.
So, that's the way it works, right? I'm looking at it the same way. I'm looking at it as there's a need. I'm going to provide it. I'm going to build relationships. My presence is different. Mm-hmm. It's I try to stay in fashion, and I just dress very colorfully. I like people. People suck, but I love them. I do. I do. They some people just suck so bad, but some people, it's that I want to help, right? I would just have this desire to help. So with the creativity aspect of it, man, I can create. Now some people want Hollywood stuff, and I don't know about that. They want Hollywood production with Dollar Tree budget. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know what you're talking about, guys. So
CGI, no.
Yeah, right.
No.
Can I have the drone in for free? No, sir. No aerial shots for you. So, there are companies that won't last, and they were there before COVID, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
COVID just expedited their demise,
right?
And then there's companies that are still thriving right now. Actually, a day or two after COVID happened, they said, okay, I see what's happening. We got to slip, we got to switch, we got to adapt no matter what. God, I know one company, one bar in town, restaurant, bistro, I don't know what it's called. It's in downtown area. I'm not going to specifically, I know the owner, really nice guy. Mm-hmm. But anyways, if you can believe this or not, I was told the other day, the first week of COVID, on Fish Friday, they did the delivery, whatever stuff, because nobody could come in, of course.
Right.
They ran out of fish. They ran out of fish, bro. No one, not a soul in there. They ran out of fish delivering. So, hello, it's not that the market's not there. It's that you're not adapting. Right. You're not adjusting. And you're not seeing the signs that are telling you, wake up. Like, I personally believe there's a higher power. Like, there's God. I believe in God, but I believe that, like, there's signs, man. You will be put through things in your life, horrible crisis things, just depressing, dark things on purpose, because it's a moment of growth. And if you don't see it as a moment of growth, and if you don't see it as God kicking you in the ass and saying, time to start changing things up, because if you stay stuck, you're going to be stuck forever, then that's it. You're done. And I believe that it happens for a reason. And most of us learn it. We learn to adjust. We learn to adapt. We learn from our mistakes or others' mistakes. And those who don't are the ones that stay always, the haters, right? The negatives. Oh, they're not the ones that see the sun out the window. They're the ones that see the fingerprints on the window. Right. It's like, come on, really? Yeah. So that's the mentality. And I know I swear, I know I got a lot of stuff, but in this community, it's a certain kind of community, right? The Midwest hospitality, the Midwest kindness. But once you peel the veils out, right? Peel the layers away, and you start seeing what people really are like behind that hospitality. You start noticing that there's a lot of lost people, a lot of people who are stuck, who just need that guidance, who just need that leadership, or need someone to do it for them because they're afraid. And a lot of people who refuse to, because changing and adapting goes outside of what others, what people expect of them, or what the culture is. Right. And they will never go against that. So they'd rather fold, bankruptcy, divorce, and do all that before they ever learn and change, which is very sad. And hopefully COVID will let people realize that we got to get back down to who we are, to our purpose in life, apply value to something more than work and more than money, and at the same time try to chase it so it can give us money and make a better life for us to live, less stressful and more happy. That's the goal, I guess. That's a great thing to wrap on right there, man. Appreciate the time, Carlos, as always. You love you, buddy. You're one of my inspirations, motivators. I mean, it's I think we're both pretty self-motivated, and I think driven. There's a certain level above being motivated. It's called drive, and there's an obsession, and there's discipline, and I think you have all of those things, which is why we get along so well, because we. Yeah, and I'll tell you, we're going to work together one day. I can see it happening. Amen. I don't know when, but it will happen. Sooner than later, my friend. Sooner than later. That's it. Hey, take care of yourself, man. Let's stay in touch, and again, thank you for the time, and thank you. I got you back on all your stuff moving forward. So let's rock and roll. Likewise, homie. All right. Stay up. Take care of yourself. Peace.